Well, good morning. This is a video about a typical day in the life of somebody who lives in a car. It is mid-May 2025. Just got up. I parked my little car up here last night, up on the Downs on the Isle of Wight. Just going to have a very quick walk, just to stretch my legs. Only a quick one. Quite windy up here today, so we're above Ventnor on the south coast of the Isle of Wight. So yeah, my very typical start. God, it is breezy, isn't it? Maybe I'd hear that on the microphone, but anyway, a very typical start is I'll wake up at about probably 6:30 in the morning in the little car, use a jet boil to boil oat milk and water to make a cup of decaf coffee. I went decaf a few years ago, or probably 2 years ago now. Certainly made a big difference. No, probably a year ago. But yeah, if I'm up on the Downs, I'll typically do this very quick loop around. And if I'm down in the Undercliff, as in parked up overnight in the Undercliff, then I'll have a walk somewhere along St Lawrence, that kind of area. But every morning it's get up, use a jet boil to make a cup of coffee, then have a quick looping walk like this, just to wake up. And I've actually bought some new, let's see if I can bring the camera down. There you go. Flipper feet. Bought some new, they're not barefoot running shoes, but they're kind of semi-barefoot, if you know what I mean. So they've actually got a thicker sole and a wide toe box. So the thicker sole is not part of the barefoot running design, but the wide toe box is. I need some sole protection, I decided. There's some people. So I'm going to increasingly do some jogs in the morning, I think. Let's just wait for these people to go past. They don't want to hear about my daily routine. So yeah, I bought these new running shoes. They're Astra, is it Solstice? So they're really cross-training shoes, but I'm going to be using them for running because I only do very short runs. They're not really designed for running as such, or not long runs anyway. So I'm going to use them for shorter runs. Because I'm getting on a bit, I don't want to start running long distances. But in the mornings like this, I'll probably do a few runs, especially as the summer progresses. So at the moment I'm focused on bird migrations, so I like birding. So at this time of year there's loads of birds still migrating through, still mid-May. So I don't want to be running around, I want to be walking around and seeing what's arrived, what's hopping around in the bushes. But as the summer progresses, I'll take up short runs because I'm less focused on the birds, because the migration has stopped by the end of this month, by the end of May. This is Coombe Bottom, beautiful chalk downland. So the grass sward here is absolutely jam-packed with wildflowers, because that's what chalk grassland is. It's a really old ancient habitat that is grazed. Used to be grazed by aurochs, but is now grazed by their domesticated relatives, domestic cows, and there's some goats as well. But yeah, beautiful chalk downland. And there's Ventnor is in the little valley below, well, not in the valley, but beyond the little valley below. Yeah, so like I say, this is a very typical morning, part of my morning routine. And I'm going to go up the slope in a second and head back to the car, because I need to go and get some petrol for the car. It's a shame those people walking their dog walked ahead of me, because often there are things, little birds hopping around on the fence line along here, just perched up, but they've all been flushed, if there was anything. Lovely. This is Coombe Bottom, lovely little valley. Right, let's head back to the car and get some petrol, I think. So I've got the fuel and back down in Ventnor Bay. So I normally park along the seafront here, along the esplanade on the beach. Nice view of the beach. And then, so it's about 8:30 in the morning. So my next task is just to have a walk around here. See if there's any migrant birds along the seafront. It's a bit late now. The wheatears and black redstarts that were migrating earlier a couple of weeks ago have all kind of moved through now, but you never know. There was a purple sandpiper hanging around until a few weeks ago, but I think that's probably migrated off now. That one was wintering here rather than passing through. Spent the winter here and it's probably gone up north to the breeding grounds now. There's Ventnor Haven, a little harbour. Been spoilt for the weather. I don't think it's rained during the day for over a month. So spoilt for the weather. It's going to be a drought this summer. There's the old winter gardens looking derelict. Very loud white throat. Can't see him, just it's obviously a male, probably trying to attract a mate. Unless it's just defending the territory and the mates on the nest. That's possible. So not really any migrant birds around here this morning, up on Ventler Cliffs. So I'm going to head down, see if the buzzard, Rocky the buzzard, is about. I don't think he is. I think he's probably moved on now. A very approachable, habituated buzzard that lives down around East Cliffs car park down below us. Oh, there's a swifts calling above. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to quickly check down there and see if the buzzard is there. But I don't think he is. I think he's moved on. And then hopefully it'll be 9 o'clock and time to go and get a coffee. I do need to water the plants outside Bessie's and Spinky's. I've adopted a little flower bed there, so that's one of my daily activities when I'm on the island. When I'm in Dorset, it's normally just go to a cafe a bit earlier because they open earlier there and do some work. And then go on farm visits to advise farmers on doing good things for wildlife. Lovely wren there singing. Gonna sing again. That is lovely. Right, let's get down to the East Cliffs. Lovely red valerian in flower. There's no sign of the buzzard, but it is quite disturbed down here this morning, quite busy. So he's bold and habituated, but there are limits. No sign of the buzzard, no sign of Rocky. It's clearly moved on. Right, let's go down to Bessie's and Spinky's and do some watering quickly. So I had a nice coffee in Bestie's, and now I'm just walking down to Blake's Tea Hut for my next writing venue. So now it's a midday walk with the dog. Having done a bit of work in the morning. This is Rusty, he's not my dog. Belongs to the Blake's Tea Hut on Exeter seafront. What a gorgeous day. So it's now kind of mid-afternoon. Done a bit of writing this morning, which was good, and this afternoon. So now, just going to have a quick walk up to La Falaise. Not very long, because I want to get back down to get another coffee before Blake's Tea Hut shuts. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. I think it shuts at 4. That's a fairly typical daytime routine for me. Get to the first cafe about 9 in the morning, do an hour and a half, 2 hours work there, then on to the next little cafe along the seafront, Blake's Tea Hut in this case, do a bit more work there. That's what I normally do when I'm outside in the sun at the moment. Is kind of research, background reading for one of the books I'm working on, whichever that happens to be at the time. And then I'll do writing when I'm doing typing. I'll do the writing on a laptop inside. Unfortunately my laptop, my MacBook Air, I've got an M1 MacBook Air and the battery's knackered on that, so I have to have it permanently plugged in when I'm using it. Which is, so I'm about to replace that with a M4 iPad Pro, I think, with a Magic Keyboard. Still not entirely sure whether to get the iPad Pro or MacBook Air M4. They're roughly the same price, which is ridiculously expensive, but I do need that bit of kit because my day-to-day routine involves lots and lots of writing, because I'm writing books. I think I've got 7 out now. I'll try to remember to put an image of all 7 of them up on the screen in this bit of the video so you can see which books I've written. Let's get a bit of skyline, then when I put the books up it'll be obvious. Yeah, so they're the ones. So books on natural history in this area, this is Ventnor. 2 of those, and a book on, or a couple of books on how to write books. There's a book on how to write nature books. Then my latest book is on my lifestyle, really, the building a location independent lifestyle, which is what I'm doing now, whilst living in a car. So that's what that latest they're all short books, you know, between 70 and 100 pages each. But I'm currently working on yet another book, book number 8, and book number 9 as well, concurrently. They'll both be out by the end of May. So, you know, my days at the moment are spent either working on my employed project, which is in Dorset, whilst living in the car, or writing for and setting up my location independent side hustles, which in time will take over and fully funds my very low cost lifestyle. So I'm aiming to earn 30 quid a day ultimately. Well, let's rephrase that. So I spend around about £30 a day normally, ordinarily, because I live in a car, so my costs are very low. But then I also need to save a lot of money, so contribute towards a private pension when I'm not actually employed. So I still need to pay into a pension pot of some sort, so I need to earn enough to cover that, and also savings I'll need to make. I need to earn some, so it's probably going to be £35 to £40 a day realistically is what I actually need to be earning as a minimum. And those little side hustles that I'm building up, i.e. the book writing and the YouTube channels, will contribute towards that daily income goal. So yeah, my kind of 9 till 5 at the moment is a bit of the employed job, but also building up my side hustles. So it is now probably about 3:15, 3:20 maybe. My iPhone mini ran out of battery power, so I don't know what the time is. It's roughly that. It's a nice van there to live in. So tell me in the comments section if you live in a vehicle. I don't know what proportion of the subscribers to my channel, to this channel, are actually van dwellers, and what proportion are just people that like the Ventnor content and the Isle of Wight content. Tell me in the comments section which of those two have you subscribed to this channel for, or are you watching this channel for? Is it to hear more about living in a vehicle, or is it to hear more about Ventnor and where I am now? Right, I'm going to go back down into Ventnor Bay and get a cup of coffee at Blake's Tea Hut, I think, and carry on doing a bit of writing. And when I'm there doing writing, I'll do it on my iPhone mini once I've recharged the battery. So the drought we're having is quite extreme, to be honest. So it's got to be one of the driest springs on record. My little flower bed at Bestie's has suffered. I'll try and remember to get a video clip of it when I go and do the watering. But obviously I've been away for for almost a week, I think, during which time it's not had very much water. So the seeds that I sowed, some of them are burnt off, some of them are alright. Californian poppies seem to be surviving pretty well in the weather. They like drought conditions anyway, presumably being from California. They've seen it all. But yeah, the drought is really impacting some of the plants here, and it's bad news for the butterflies as well, because they lay their eggs, or some of them lay their eggs on herbaceous plants in grassy swards, and if there's a really bad drought, then when the caterpillars emerge, their food plants are all crisp, so they're no good to eat. Nice crow up there, carrion crow, following me around asking for food. So yeah, if their food plants of the caterpillars are all basically burnt to a crisp by May, June, July time, then the caterpillars are all going to die, and that's bad news for the butterflies. So next year, if this drought continues, next year may be a really bad year, because basically those caterpillars that are feeding on those plants in May, June and July, if they don't survive because of the drought, they won't be able to pupate, they won't be able to hide in the soil over winter, and there'll be very few butterflies to emerge this time next year. Anyway, on that sombre note, I'm going to go and get a coffee. So it's now about 6:30 in the afternoon, and just about finished for the day, I think, in terms of working anyway. What a lovely afternoon. So yeah, that's, in terms of daytime, that's pretty typical routine for me. Just writing during the day, and then in the evenings, so it's about 6:30 now, in the evenings I'll just hang around the bay, hang around Ventnor Bay, enjoy the sunset, do a bit more work in the car, or go to one of the local pubs. Spyglass more often than not in the evenings. But I think what I'm going to do this evening is just watch a movie, probably watch the rest of True Detective on Amazon Prime Video. Probably had enough work for today. So if you can live minimally, so if you don't need much money, because I don't need much gear, I don't like to accumulate stuff. So if you can do that, if you can live without too much stuff, and you don't need too much money, primarily because I'm living in a car, and it's a very kind of freeing way to live, because I can literally be doing this anywhere in the UK or anywhere in the world. I don't really need to be on the south coast of England. We're coming into our summer now, it's mid-May, so I quite like to be here this time of year. But in principle I could be in Southeast Asia or in the Andes, in Ecuador, in Costa Rica. Obviously living in a vehicle might be slightly more tricky in the tropics, because it would be very hot. It gets warm here overnight in midsummer, but not as hot as it would get in the tropics. So that's a little bit of a constraint. So overseas it would probably cost a little bit more. Although when I was in Cambodia, I've lived out there twice. Second time I was out there, I was mainly living from a hammock. So it's a very unconventional lifestyle, living in a car. I'm currently working in an employed job, but the plan is in a year or so, or by the end of 2026, I'll be fully financially independent in that. The little online businesses I'm setting up, my writing books and YouTube channels and affiliate links and that kind of stuff, that will yield enough money for me to live on without having to actually have an employer, so I can fire my boss, live out of my car, put away some savings over time, sort out the pension over time, and then really just carry on living this pretty relaxed, self-sufficient kind of lifestyle. In summer in the UK, and then in winter in the tropics probably, to get away from the chill of the UK winter, which I'm not a fan of at all. Tell me in the comments section if you think I'm completely crazy. Don't think there's too much doubt about that. Although, you know, I think it's quite a resilient way to live, because I've got enough money in the bank now that if my car breaks down, if my house breaks down, my car, then I can go and buy a new one. Probably buy a small van next. And my costs are very, very, very low. So, you know, if I spend between £30 and £40 a day, including savings that I need to be putting away, I can easily earn that with a minimum wage job, working a few hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day, will easily earn me that amount of money. So even if I wasn't building up my side hustles, my book writing income and YouTube channel income, course creation potentially income, if I wasn't building those up, I'd just go and get a shelf stacking job in Tesco's or something, and that would keep me going quite happily. So I think it's a really resilient way to live. I don't have a mortgage, I've never had a mortgage, obviously that means I don't have a property, so in one sense I'm kind of vulnerable, but am I really? Or am I just more free and independent by not having property and not having the costs associated with a property, and being completely location independent and free basically to do what I like each day within reason?